3-6 to 3-2, so this is the crucial term for Footscray, who appeared to cop a pretty rough quarter in that first stanza of football. The handball was shot out towards Shane Hurd, who puts Essendon down towards Copping, fisted away by Egan. At the back is Hansen, pushes the ball towards the boundary line, but Danaher's going to keep it in play. Terence cannot pick it up for the life of him, and it will be Kellett to relieve the pressure with the handball. Setting it up well, and they're able to spray out of that back line. Too far to Rick Kennedy. Well, I didn't count the paces, Bobby, but I've seen players run twice as far as that.
Well, watching the television last week and seeing Michael Conlon run 85 metres to kick a goal, Ian Robinson must not have been the umpire.
So I don't know really what's going on. But Bahaja takes the free kick down towards the forward line once again. I'm surprised a free kick wasn't picked out there. It's a snap by Tony West, and it is off target and another behind. So Essendon into attack again in the opening minutes of this term, leading 3-7 to 3-2.
We'll find Stan Davidson to put the ball back as we see the board. A 5-point margin in favour of the Bombers. Drop punt. Williams from behind punches it down. The two number 5s. Brian Cordy's there, a hand pass back and forced over the boundary line by Carey.
Critical term, isn't it, Bob, for Footscray? They've got to control Essendon, who are kicking with the bruise.
Yes, Essendon, I feel, would be extremely happy to be 5 points in front after kicking against the wind. As Lunn has the ball taken off the boot by Hurd. Hurd tackled, lost possession, called play on. It comes to Bahaja. Bahaja tackled, throws the ball out, taken by Brian Cordy, and he carries the ball over the line, and throwing to take place. Thrown in the forward pocket for the Bombers. Purser against Terry Danaher. Purser gets a tap. It's picked up by Watson across to Bahaja. He's kicked down towards the square. Van der Haar comes across and leaves the ball for Copping. Good teamwork by Paul Van der Haar. He could see that Stephen Copping was in perfect position to take the mark, so just dropped the arms and allowed Copping to take the mark only 10 metres out directly in front. Stephen Copping yet to put a goal on the board. 2 goals to Terry Danaher, 1 to Shane Hurd, and now it's 1 to Stephen Copping. Nice mark, good piece of teamwork as Bahaja put the ball forward to take the score to 4 goals 7 to 3 goals 2. 31 to 20, an 11-point margin in favour of the Bombers after that goal from Stephen Copping.
And Bluey Hampshire giving his runner Phil Stevens plenty of work to do today. Conditions overcast. Doesn't look as though it'll rain though, plenty of blue sky. This ball is relayed back to the centre. It usually takes a bit of time here at Windy Hill. 4-7 to 3-2. The Bombers adding 1-1 in the opening 4 minutes of the second term. Madden and Purser again for the centre bounce. The crowd strangely quiet. I think they're waiting for something to happen in this match. Watson tries to tap it over the back, but then retrieves it himself. Goes with a high kick towards the forward line. Van der Haar and Copping are both there. Van der Haar, front spot, no mark is paid. Play on the call, pushed towards the boundary line, and in fact it's kept in by Van der Haar. Back towards Terry Danaher. He couldn't control it. Plenty of Footscray Guernseys there, and they'll come away through Steve McPherson. Little left foot chip towards the half-back line. Purser, but intercepted beautifully by Hawker. Flashes it out, then goes long towards full forward. Copping trying to maintain front spot. One hand! Well done, Steve. Great mark. He's got these elastic fingers, and with the one hand, he wrapped it round that football, then controlled it at the second grab. He'll have a shot, well, point blank again.
Copping just too tall for Michael Egan. And I'm surprised to see Egan still in the back pocket against Copping. I'll be very surprised if we don't find a change made very shortly as Copping puts through his second for the quarter. Copping far too tall for Michael Egan. A lovely mark nonetheless. Very dangerous player. Sandy, many of the South Australians told me that Copping couldn't fire. He's done a great job over here.
Yes, I think they were a little concerned about his pace. He was started as a wingman, but Kevin Sheedy has moved him up into the forward lines and has certainly proved his worth. Centre bounce once again. It's nice to see Bobby Skilton being serious about some interstate players. Here's the bounce. Purser and Hawker will be forced to go this one with him. The bounce does not favour one person. In fact, trying to get it out was Steve McPherson. He wasn't successful. So another bounce.
A dangerous period for Footscray, Sandy. At the moment, they're flagging. They're not getting the ball away from the packs. And I think that because of the dominance of players like Watson, Essendon on top at the moment.
Purser relieves himself of one boot. Doesn't make any difference because no one can take away the football. So another ball. And now, yes, that's 1.5 boots gone. That's a shocking bounce. Favours Glenn Hawker down towards the half-forward line. Out comes Stephen Copping very strongly. Well done. Again, it's Tony West this time. Long towards Copping and Van der Haar. Vander's front spot. Copping at the back. His kick is smothered, however. He's quickly over the top and I think has given away the free kick. And 15, Stephen.
So the 15-metre penalty, as we see Brian Royal in the hands of the trainers. Nagel at the back. Didn't take the mark. Recovered beautifully. Got the hand pass out towards Carey. He missed the tackle too high. And the free kick's gone the other way.
Although umpire Robinson did...
He deemed that he, as West is coming off the ground, he deemed that he ducked his head, but surely you've got to duck your head to pick the ball up.
Yes, it's obviously some sort of optical problem that they're undergoing at the moment, but nevertheless, play goes on in the forward lines. Picked up by Thompson, a long shot at goal, just off target, and another behind goes on the ball. So the Bombers doing all the attacking. They lead 5-8 to 3-2 on Sevens Big League after some 8 minutes of this second term at Windy Hill.
Stan Davidson, a lovely kick. Looks for Rod McPherson. Two Essendon players collide. It comes back to Purser. A long hand pass. Bad bounce for Royal. Comes out past Wallace. Bahaja got one too high, but full play on as Nagel puts the ball forward. Straight into the arms of Rick Kennedy. Kennedy foolishly plays on. Thompson gets a hand pass to Van der Haar. On to Copping. Third goal for the term to Stephen Copping. Rick Kennedy a little shattered, but he did play on. And once he had played on and gone sideways and across the mark, then he could be tackled from anywhere, and that's just what happened on that occasion.
This is the danger that Bob Skilton was speaking of, that the Bombers could explode any minute. Stephen Copping has kicked 3 goals in 9 minutes of football. And the Bombers have opened up a very, very handy 24-point break. Bear in mind, they're kicking with a breeze that is possibly worth that much. But, ominous signs for Footscray. Purser and Madden again to contest the ruck duel. Won by Madden. Trying to find Bahaja, but unsuccessful. All held on that occasion to Mike McKenna, so another one in the centre. Madden wins it again. This time the umpires picked out a free kick. It will go the way of Essendon. McKenna, the top of his opposition in Glenn Hawker.
Well, Essendon caused that as much as Footscray.
Yes, I'm stunned, but nevertheless, Hawker's long high kick. Van der Haar coming in from the side. Copping is this number 4. Thank you, Doctor. Stephen is running right. 4 goals in 10 minutes, and the Bombers move to 7-8 to Footscray's 3-2 on Sevens Big League.
Match-winning football by Essendon during that second quarter, really making good use of the breeze, especially with Steve Copping in fine form up forward. And the Bombers for that term booted 8-5 to the Bulldogs, 1 solitary point. And so at half-time they led by 59 points. They'd increased that margin to 83 points at three-quarter time. We pick up our play going into the final quarter, 35 to 118, as we go back to Windy Hill and Sandy Roberts and Bob Skilton.
Into the final term here at Windy Hill, and no doubt Kevin Sheedy working on percentage. 17-16 to Footscray's 5-5. Hanson in the ruck, unable to get an effective tap away. Watson does the blocking, and another bounce right in the middle. Been a very disappointing game for Footscray, who scored 3-2 in the first term, and since that time have managed to add only 2 goals, 3. Donnell, a high kick to the half-forward line. Tapped over the back by Van der Haar. Oh, he ran straight into Copping, who was running. Now across to Nagel. Tried to do a little too much movement on that occasion. Back towards Hawker. Thompson's loose, however, and away they go. That kick drifting in towards full forward. Merritt is there. Hits the post. So Mick Thompson has 2 points to his credit, and Essendon continue to charge forward.
Well, the talk at three-quarter time, Sandy, was that Essendon may relax, but the way they've opened this quarter, I feel that Kevin Sheedy has said we have to go for percentage.
And that's what you were thinking too, Robert.
No, I thought they'd go on with it. You know that, Sandy. As Watson gets the hand pass to Fowler. Across now to Danaher. Terry Danaher puts it through the centre for his third goal. A great leader is Terry Danaher. 18-17 to Footscray 5-5.
So the Bombers opening up a margin of 90 points, and perhaps that sign telling it all. Yes. 125 plays 35.
£90.
Centre bounce.
Carried the one that time.
Madden and Hansen. Well, we said what Sheedy may be saying at three-quarter time, but I wonder what Bluey said as Royal has thumped off the football. Wallace was grabbed a mile too high, and Stephen will take the free kick. To half forward. Clark coming over the top to spoil, waiting down. We see Danaher get it across to Nagel. To half forward. Oh, Bahaja actually flew from behind. Here's one for Merritt as he twists and dodges and weaves a bad handball. Tried to thread it through 3 Footscray players. Groenewegen took it ahead of Thompson. Brings them out of trouble as he finds Steve McPherson. McPherson on the half-back flank, going short. And Footscray needing to go as long as possible at the moment and get some system back into their game. Chris Burton across the ground. Carey intercepts the strong Carey. Across to Fowler, who was a little too slow. Donnell overruns it. Through went Edmund, but without the football. He does have support, however. Donnell backs them all up, and away he goes. Frankie steadies, shoots in towards goal. It's a good kick too, but just off target. And another behind. So they pepper away. Frank Donnell has kicked 1-1. And the Bombers have kicked 18-18 to 5-5.
Frank Donnell, like most of the Essendon players, has been a good player on centre wing. But then it's hard to find a weakness in the Essendon lineup. The defence has been on top all day. Right across the centre they've won. We even saw Purser taken off the ground and Hansen put into the ruck. I didn't think Purser was going that badly, but right now it's Egan. Puts the ball forward, in the way, Ronnie Andrews. So Andrews on half-back flank. A casual hand pass across to Gary Folds. And Folds puts a long kick towards the half-forward line. Van der Haar taps the ball over the back. Hawker taps it on, misses Thompson, but Hawker followed the ball through. Carried over the line by Brian Cordy. So a throwing to take place on the Essendon half-forward line. 5 minutes into the final term. 126 to 35. Hansen gets rid of his opponent with a push. Royal puts the ball up towards it. There's 4 Essendon players. They could have raffled it. Left by Nagel to allow Watson to put the long kick to the forward line. No mark taken. Hawker swoops on the ball and snaps it truly.
Great snap then by Hawker, and it was Steve Copping that pushed the ball down to him. Copping realising that he had Hawker in front. And away go the Bombers again. It's their 19th goal. 19-18, 132. Cruising towards the 100-point lead to Footscray's 5-5.
It's disappointing after 4 consecutive wins for the Bulldogs. But they have certainly been taken apart today.
97 points the margin, favouring Essendon. Hansen again in ruck. Up against Madden, and it's the latter who wins it. But Brian Royal kicking high towards centre wing. Carey comes out to try and get front spot. He's showing a surprising dash. Perrin intercepted, however. But here they go again. Clark it was, who set it up towards Carey. Goes in towards Hawker. Controls it beautifully. Sets up the handball towards Nagel. He looks for Thompson. No, says I'll do it myself. And he should have found Mick Thompson on that occasion. Holding the ball, however, so they're going to get out of it and have yet another shot for goal. And it will be Thompson, who was drifting down that half-forward line. Egan remonstrating with Robinson, but to no avail.
Michael Egan not hearing the umpire say it was touched off the boot and paying the penalty. as Thompson puts it right through the centre for his first goal. And number 20 for the Bombers.
We go back to Windy Hill now, 10 minutes into the final quarter. Essendon leading by over 100 points.
Nagel comes on again, leaves it then for Danaher, who goes across towards Bahaja, who's recovered from that heavy knock. I'm sure he'll have a headache tonight. Tackle from behind, called play on. Donnell comes through, a hand pass over the top to Thompson. Should have given it back to Donnell. Now it's towards Fowler. Fowler over the head of Donnell. Burton takes it for Footscray. Goes straight out across the ground. Very dangerous. And, well, one of the basics of football went out the window there. And Timmy Watson, who has yet to put a goal on the board, doesn't even try now as he goes for the short pass and finds Glenn Hawker, who has one goal. And so Glenn Hawker will try and put Footscray over the 100 points in front. It's 138 to 35.
Comments there by one of our top state mathematicians, Bob Scoot, and he's done exactly that as he goes to give Essendon a 109-point lead. 21-18 to 5-5 on Seven's big lead.
I looked at the wrong number, didn't I? But it's way out of Footscray's reach. They have really been demoralised today, and it'll be interesting to see just how the Bulldogs come up after such a defeat, because it's hard to find a winner in the Footscray side, and when you're beaten so badly, confidence must be shattered.
We've played some 13 minutes of this final term here at the Windy Hill ground. Hanson up against Merritt. No winner in that occasion. Wallace tried to flick it out towards Egan, who will come away with the football to the half-forward line. Carey. Scouting is Clark. I'd like to know his stats for the final half, because he's been in absolutely everything. In fact, 13 kicks he's had in this last half of football so far. Between centre and half forward for the Bombers. Lead of 109 points. Van der Haar with a mighty thump, but straight down the throat of Chris Burton. Puts it out wide towards the wing. Brian Royal nipping in front of the pack. Clark unable to keep it in play, and a throw-in to take place.
So the throw-in on centre wing. It would be Chris Hansen of ex of Fitzroy, of Footscray. But Williams comes over the top, grabs it. A quick hand pass, too high for Royal. Bundled out of the way by Carey, which allows Donnell to come on the scene. A high kick towards centre half forward, and a beautiful mark by Terry Danaher. An Essendon player down behind play. It's Terry Danaher, about 55 metres out from goal. Danaher kicked 2 goals in the first quarter, has 3 on the board at the moment. A beautiful kick. Will it make the distance? It does. Full points. A beautiful goal from the Essendon skipper. And it's 22 goals, 18. 150 with Footscray, 5-5-35.
Terry Danaher kicking his 4th goal, and Neil Clark, it is, in the hands of the trainers after scintillating 2 quarters of football. Does appear to be okay. The trainer just taking him for a little bit of a jog.
Onto the forward pocket with Copping going to defence.
Centre bounce. Hanson and Merritt. Nagel. I hope he hasn't been sent down the forward pocket for a rest, because he won't get much of a spell down there the way they're peppering it down there. Weston's the spoiler. Walsh also doing the blocking, allowing Andrews through. And look at them. They're running in a line of about 3 at the moment. Set up the handball, and away they go again. Nagel in towards the centre. Had Weston going for him, has the ball held.
I don't think he ever took it, did he?
He didn't take it, and he had his hands out, and yet umpire Robinson said holding the ball. An interesting one. Nevertheless, play goes on. Wallace receiving the handball. Back he goes again, putting some pressure on Mike McKenna, but he gets out of it, straightens up, shoots towards goal. And a long-awaited goal for the Footscray fans. 6-5-41 to Essendon 22-18, 150.
Well, that's the first goal that Footscray have scored at the scoreboard into the ground because they only added 1 solitary point in the second term. So Footscray have really struggled to score at either end, but definitely against the Breeze. Centre bounce, Roger Merritt of Essendon, Chris Hansen of Footscray. High bounce, Merritt wins out, taken there by Hawker. A kick towards Van der Haar at centre half forward, 2 grabs, and Van der Haar has taken the mark. Paul Van der Haar, and with the Breeze over his shoulder, Paul Van der Haar should take his time and put the long kick at goal. It's exactly what Van der Haar has elected to do. And goal number 23. 23-18, 156. Footscray 6-5-41.
And from that point in the game, we go to the time-on period now of the final quarter. Essendon playing very, very good football, and the Bombers at this stage leading by 114 points.
And again, Watson spending some time on the turf, gone down heavily. We'll keep an eye on him as it's the actions with Nagel. Spins out of trouble, sets up the handball to Fowler, back to Clark. Probably the best man on the ground in this second half. Merritt takes the mark, Copping's in the square, and the pigeon is still there. And there is Timmy Watson. The knee, the knee, the knee. Now, that pigeon is just in front of Merritt and is not concerned one bit. You can see it just behind him there. There it is. Look at that. Doesn't care a darn about the football. That one's swinging back, and he's threaded it. Great goal, Roger Merritt. His third, and the Bombers working away. The cricket score. With Timmy Watson leaving the ground. Not leaving yet. The way he's looking, he will. 25-19 to 7-7. And into time on. Bobby by almost 2 minutes.
There's Timmy Watson, hobbles down to the forward pocket. All I can believe at the moment is that the players on the interchange must be hurt even worse than Watson. Watson going off the ground, not on camera, as we find Kennedy getting a hand pass out to McKenna. McKenna puts a kick straight down the ground, thumped back by Weston. It bounces awkwardly, taken by Bahaja. And Tony Bahaja puts a long kick down. It'll be another one. And Bahaja brings up his third goal. West on the ground, Watson off, and that was Tony Bahaja's third goal. 26-19, 175. Footscray 7-7-49. And the little fellow has played a wonderful game today. 23 kicks. 6 hand passes as Timmy Watson hobbles around the boundary, not to come back at this stage. 3 minutes into time on. It's not surprising, of course. And there's the board, 175-49. A dismal day for the Bulldogs. As Bahaja once again gets a hand pass to Fowler. On to Thompson. Thompson now. The long kick down. And again, the Bulldogs go to 27-19. 181. I mean, the Bulldogs trailing as Essendon go to 27-19 with Footscray on 7-7-49.
And that was the final score at Windy Hill today. Essendon victorious by 132 points, and it was Footscray's third consecutive loss to Essendon by more than 100 points. Copping got 7 goals for Essendon and Danaher 4. For Footscray, Jimmy Sewell was their most effective forward. Generally, of course, he has been playing at full back this year, and he finished up with 4 goals. Stats on the match from Windy Hill, and they're certainly interesting. The mark 60-56 in favour of the Bombers. The kicks 217-167, so that's a margin of 50. The free kicks fairly close, a margin of 3 to Footscray. Handballs 51-30 in favour of the Bombers, so pretty close to double. The hit-outs 39-19 in favour of Essendon, a margin of 20, so they certainly doubled them there. And the shots at goal 51-14.